Hello, everyone. Welcome to week 3 of the Practical Joy Book Club. Um, it's been really fun to dive into this work with all of you. And the next few weeks, as we kind of round out the experience, is going to be around what sabotages our joy, even though we know we want joy, right? What are those sneaky things that do that? How we can be ready for that. And also, that's really the essence of today's lesson. Next week, we're going to be moving into how to rebuild your creative access for your business, right? Because it's really hard to run a business or an interesting life if the creativity is gone or you're too tired to be creative. And we've all been there before, right? Like I go through periods in my business. And I really notice for me, it's December to February is when I just need to pretty much not do anything creative. And starting in March, it's like I start waking up with the spring. The seeds are blooming, the leaves are budding out on the trees, at least in the hemisphere I live in. The weather's getting warmer. And so I've really been trying to help also the people in our Joy Fueled Business Growth Program understand that we have seasons of joy, seasons of productivity. And most often they are not aligned with the new year that we've all been indoctrinated into. In fact, if you really think about how the seasons work and how the equinoxes work, I've done quite a bit of writing on this. And as a former school teacher, I always thought it was weird that we were starting school in September because it's the time you're supposed to be like winding down for the year and like going into rest mode. And lo and behold, I find out from talking to Matt Stone, I believe he told me you start school in Japan in the spring. And I was like, oh, I should have been a teacher there. That would have made so much more sense to my clock. But our seasons of joy also have, I think, these bursts of joy. And they have these things where, it's going to be more quieter joy. And it's okay. What we're doing is we're paying attention to joy and all the places it shows up and ways that we want more of it. And this is about practical joy and how to access that. Okay, so welcome back. If you're joining us for the first time, you're not behind. You're just going to jump right in. Last week, we worked on our joy compass and we named the values that we wanted more room for in our lives and our businesses. So I'd like you to go to your joy scavenger hunt today. If you have printed this, if not, you can draw one. Okay, anything works. And you're going to go to number 1 right here. And I want you to give a think of right now, today, August 17th, what is your top lifestyle value? This would come from the work that you've been thinking about over the past week, or it would come from your heart, or it would come from maybe your journal, what you've been thinking about, okay? And one of the one of the most profound things, I think my contribution to the business world is helping people get their businesses aligned with their top lifestyle values, which is so not how most businesses operate, right? And so that's why we called it Joy Fueled, because everyone coming in to work with us in some capacity wants more joy. And if they don't, I can't take them on as a client. It would be out of alignment and out of integrity. And that has happened before. All right. But they also want this business that's rooted in meaning and purpose and impact and profit and not going against their lifestyle values. Okay. So in the chat, go ahead and put in what is your top lifestyle value kind of running the show right now. Mine is integration. I shared that with you last week. Everything I'm doing right now is about integrating the language of Spain, integrating into the culture of Spain, integrating with people like Matt and Michelle and doing like collaborations that are integrative, right? Integrating my art life back into the business and also taking women out around Valencia to sketch. I have an Inky Sketch Club starting up soon. All right. So whatever that value is for you right now, we're going to kind of use that as your guideposts throughout the rest of the summer. Okay. And I do ask you that you check in with your values about once a quarter because things change, right? When my mom got sick, my values changed very fast. And my value was mom, taking care of mom, right? And so I think a lot of times we forget that life changes, circumstances change, your heart changes, your business changes, whatever it is, it deserves, your joy deserves you to check in with it regularly, okay, and to schedule those reflection points. All right, so usually I try and remember like once a season, try not to say quarter anymore, once a season, okay, I'm really thinking about what's important to me this season and how can I make sure everything is aligned, okay? All right, so $1 million question for you all today. Give you a moment to think about it, and then you can put your answer in the chat. Okay. If we know what our highest lifestyle value is, and we know the things that bring us joy, so we know, right? We know, we've studied it, we've identified it, we know, okay? Often the issue is not what we know. The issue is something overrides that. All right. Obligation overrides it. Productivity overrides it. Perfectionism overrides it. People pleasing, old business rules, ways you run your business in the past that no longer fit anymore. The pressure to be useful, impressive, strategic, consistent, productive. I could go on and on. Okay. So today we're going to go a little bit layer deeper today, and we're going to say what overrides your joy or your values or your creative instincts, aka your aliveness. Right? What are those things that override it? Okay. And we're not going to shame ourselves about it. We're not going to make ourselves wrong, but we are going to notice the patterns so that we can kind of stop that when it happens. Okay. So when you look at your joy scavenger hunt right now, what part of the map today is pulling towards your attention? So we've identified our lifestyle value, which is good. It still could be pulling towards your attention. Okay. We haven't talked about passion projects yet, but maybe that's pulling you. All right. Maybe nature, maybe organizing your home. I've been seeing Quenisha's lovely posts. Gail just gave it a thumbs up. Quenisha, I too have like all these half-finished freaking projects laying around. And I'm just like, okay, I have to stay home and like do some shit because my home is like making me nuts when I look around it, right? So go ahead and put in the chat what is calling to you this week on your joy scavenger hunt. And if it's something that's not here, you can add a stop on your map. And this is information for you because the part of the map that's pulling for your attention, it might be pointing towards something that wants more space, more care, more practice, more acknowledgement, right? So that's why we're checking in today with this. Okay. All right. Who would like to share today? What has sort of come up for you over the last few weeks as you've been thinking about joy, practicing your joy? Who would like to give some voice to the room today? I'd love to hear from a couple of you today. I think it makes the conversation so much richer. All right, Sarah, kick us off today.
Thank you. Firstly, my joy came today when I saw Marie's post about her qualification for her scuba. Well done, Marie. And it's finally raining here in the UK. It's been like super hot. You'll know this, Shannon. It's been super hot and no rain for about 2 months now. So it's finally raining today. And I could smell all of the trees and all of the grass and all that stuff when I went out walking the dog. So that gave me a lot of joy today.
Oh my God. We had this rain thing pop up out of nowhere the other night, and the wind started. And then I said, oh my God, I hear something foreign. Maria's like, oh, I have not heard rain in so long. And then yesterday, Sarah, it was 89 degrees here and it felt like freaking winter. And I was like, oh my God, I want to put some jeans and a sweater. It's so cool. And it felt so good. And I was outside most of yesterday, hence the red. So yes, I am feeling that. All right, Dana. So good to see you, Dana.
Great to see you. Um, no coincidence. Right before this started, I became incredibly aware of how I had forgotten how to be playful. And I'm just in a heavy season of life with an 81-year-old mom in assisted living. I'm the only family member that lives here in town. She's had 2 trips to the emergency room, shingles, all in the last 5 weeks. I'm also a single mom to a 14-year-old, so it can get heavy, and didn't realize how much I was in survival mode. So I'm so grateful for the invitation to be here because it put the emphasis back on joy. And if you notice the mug I have had since I was with Shannon in Florida, what, 4 or 5 years ago, I bought that after that trip. And so this week, or these last couple of weeks, somewhere along the lines, I heard, just a little piece of advice is, what if in the heavy seasons you just focused on collecting smiles? And with a teenage boy, sometimes I really need to focus on that. Um, but it has changed my experience, and I'm sure it changes how other people get to experience me along the way. So I am just very grateful to be here and to be back focusing on playfulness and joy.
Yay, I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here. And y'all, just we're all business owners here. In true transparency, I pulled up an old client list from years ago and I said, I'm inviting every single one. I'm sending them a DM. Quenisha's here, Dana's here, right? And I say this to you because often the very people who could re-engage with you or want to, they just need the invitation. All right. They're busy too. So don't forget that in your business. Those relationships matter. A lot of times we're like, oh, who's new? What's shiny? Let's also remember the people that we've had relationships with in the past. I think it's really important. All right. Thank you, Dana. Catherine, you're next.
So good to see everybody. Hey, it's so interesting because I've been kind of head down, moving forward, and it's just like, oh my gosh, I haven't been outside enough. And so that is really calling to me, and it's really opening up things for me. And it's like I'm sticking to my morning time is my time, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've been invited 3 times over the last 2 weeks to have early morning meetings, and I'm like, no, no, I'm happy to meet with you later, but
Yeah.
not then.
Yes. Yes. Very good. I love that. Those
Yeah.
boundaries are really important, right? Around
Mhm.
our joy, the boundaries that keep us in joy. Okay,
Yeah.
good. Last one before we head out into breakout rooms. Michelle Dovey. Y'all, just so you know, Michelle Dovey is going to be the guest on the podcast, live podcast next week. We are looking for a live studio audience to help shape that podcast. Okay, spoiler alert, 70 cocks and done. Just going to drop that right there. Not talking about roosters. Someone asked me, Michelle, please tell me you're talking about roosters. I'm like, nope, not talking about roosters.
No poultry.
All right, Michelle, what's your joy saying these days?
Oh my gosh. Okay, I've got 2 things. Number one, it's so good to be right in here because I actually had a shame attack right before I realized it was 3 o'clock, and I was like, holy cow. I did this post. I was at Shannon and Matt's workshop the other day, and I was so thrilled. Had this amazing exercise, and I had this clarity about the person I was, the person I'm becoming, and I did a post about it. And then I forgot to tag you both in it. And then I was like, oh my gosh, and I haven't, attributed it to you, and I haven't even mentioned anything, and I was horrified anyway. So I had a shame attack, and I was like, "That is just how fast it happens." So what joy to see you both and to say, "I'm so sorry, I just got that wrong." I had put you in the comments, and you know, please excuse my enthusiasm and excitement for your work, and just fumbling with that piece. Um, anyway, it's just so nice to be able to say it directly and recover rather than, be feeling like pretty crappy for the next 3 days. So, but my real joy is my joy is that uh, I've been having this back pain for the last couple of weeks, and it's actually I'm getting better. I am resting a lot still, but it is better, and I'm upright. So I'm so grateful.
Okay, beautiful. And Michelle and Matt, you can feel free to talk to Michelle. I have no idea what the hell you're even talking about. So you were having shame over something that I don't even know what you're talking about yet. Like seriously. So like how many of us do this? It's real, right? We're like, oh no, we meant to do this, or we tagged this, or I told someone I get back to them, and then it's like, well, people are living their lives. I hate to say it, they're not really paying as much attention to us as we wish they would be. So we can take a lot of that shame off. Beautiful. Okay, we are headed into breakout rooms, y'all. Okay, we're going to do it early today. And here's what's going to happen. Remember, breakout rooms are a noticing room. So you're going to have your pen ready, pencil, marker, whatever, and you're going to notice what kinds of themes you hear. There's going to be 2 questions today. There's going to be 3 people in each room. If one of the people in the room isn't really there, okay, that means they're here, but they're not here. It's okay, you have a partner. All right, so you have 8 minutes. And the questions are, we're going to put them in the chat. What are you starting to realize about your joy, creativity, values, or business since we began? Okay, and even if you're new here, you missed a week, it doesn't matter. Just pick up in the conversation. And where are you noticing a gap between what matters to you and what keeps getting your time, energy, or attention? All right, so that's what we're going in, all right, to talk about. And your job is to listen when you're not talking to the thread of what matters to people. Okay. All right, Amy, let's get these people off. Person with the longest hair is the timer today. 8 minutes total. Okay, so set the clocks.
Hello, welcome back. Yay. All right, I'm curious, what is something interesting that you heard in your rooms? I'm gonna randomly call on 3 of you. So, Colleen, can we start with you? What is something interesting you heard in your rooms? I haven't heard your voice in a while, so.
Hi.
Hi.
I heard a lot of freedom in our room. We were talking about freedom and curiosity and getting really curious and how to bring those things into our businesses.
I like that. I like that a lot. Christy Morgan, how about you? What is something interesting that you heard in your room?
Well, at the end, Mary was sharing, how we need to be putting the joy first, even when there's these gaps and focusing on that. And I think I really needed to hear that because our priorities sometimes get out of whack. But even if it's just like one little thing that we can be joyful about, that's enough.
Yeah, that little moment of joy. I love that. Kieran, how about you? What was something interesting in your room?
I have a bit of a noise issue, but hopefully that's not coming through.
We don't hear it. It's just on your end, so you're good. Oh no, now we lost your voice though.
Where did he go?
I don't know. Let's see if he gets it really quick. Otherwise, Liz was in his room. Oh, there you are. Yeah.
It's like there's like a jackhammer going crazy up there. Freedom and alignment were the 2 things that seemed to come up between
Okay.
us.
I like that.
Okay, I have a question for everyone. What does freedom look like in your average day? because freedom is a value many of us have because we became entrepreneurs. And the last thing we wanted to do was be told what to do. Okay. So what does freedom look like if I saw it in action? Like if I spied through your window at night or in the morning, what does freedom look like in your day, in your average day? Away from the computer, space in the calendar. Yes, unexpected opportunity comes up. You can say yes to. I don't start working with people until after 9. Pick what I want to do. Go outside and paint. Decide what I wear. Do I want to do my hair? Okay, the reason I'm asking you all this, and this is key, so a lot of times these values we have, we cannot define them at that level, and therefore they are never attainable for us. Notice that Amy's freedom is not doing her hair. I think that was Amy that said that. Okay. That would never be on my list, but it doesn't matter. That's her freedom, right? That's her definition of freedom, whether I have to do my hair today or not. Okay. And I think this is why so many people struggle with joy and freedom and alignment, because you haven't taken the time to answer that question. So it's a good question for you to write down. What if I peeked in on you or Amy peeked in on you, living out your top values, what would we see on an average day in your world, right? I want you to be able to define that for yourself and what it looks like, because then it's actually something that's tangible to you and not just like this idea floating around out here, like freedom, joy, all right, which is why the book is called Practical Joy. Okay. All right. Very good. Okay. So we're going to move into our signature activity today. And this week we are going to be creating a summer joy menu. Okay. A summer joy menu. All right. Those of you who have done this with me in the past, it was called a summer joy list or a fall joy list or a pictograph. It doesn't matter. Today it's a menu. All right. So you can put it in any form you want. So I'm going to share my screen, grab a piece of paper. You need a piece of paper today. And we're going to draw like a little brainstorming map here. Share. Let me share. Okay, cool. So this is my piece of paper. Just blowing all around because I got fans blowing all around. All right. And today I'm going to do, my menu is going to look like little clouds coming off of the summer joy menu. All right. You can call it a summer joy brainstorm, whatever you want to do it. I've actually had people in the past literally make a menu like joy, appetizer size joy, main dish size joy, cocktail joy. So you can get as creative as you want with this week. All right. But just like I shared with you all that I check in each season with my values, I also check in with my summer, my seasonal joy menu. Okay. Because my joy in the summer actually looks very different than my joy in the fall or the winter. In the summer, I'm at the beach, spending a lot of time outside. In the winter, I might be doing puzzles and making bread and soup, right? So for right now, because we still have plenty of summer left, regardless of what the school system says that summer is over and we're going back to school, you have until September 21st to live out your summer joy. Okay. Let's kind of work through what would be in your bubbles. Okay. Now, this is seasonal joy, and it's just a gentle reminder. This is my gentle reminder to you that joy always belongs in every season of your life and business. And that can happen more often when we actually pay attention to it. Okay. So What would make you feel more alive, more grounded, and more joyful to live out the last 5 weeks of summer? What is that for you? Whatever those things are, you're going to put them in the bubbles. Okay? Because I want more joy sounds quite lovely, but it's also very vague. It's also what I think about people's messaging. Nobody knows what the hell that means. Okay? So we need to paint the picture. Okay? I want slow dinners outside on my patio. That is something I can see. I want to swim in the ocean each day, 1 day a week. Right? I want to make one messy piece of art that I don't share with anyone on social media. It's all mine in my journal. I want to stop working after 3 p.m. for the rest of the summer. Okay, these are what is very tangible, practical joy. So take a few minutes, think about the season of summer, the season you're in your life, in your relationships. What would go in your menu? All right, let's flood that chat with your version of summer joy. While you're typing, mine are swim in the beach, bike ride to Port Sapaya, I think Sapaya. It's called the Little Venice of Valencia. It's literally like a 15-minute bike ride. Okay, go to a rooftop for a cocktail. I'm participating in an art experience next weekend called Down the Rabbit Hole. It's Alice in Wonderland, but as an adult. I'm starting the Women in Valencia business kickoff. We're starting a group here. Our kickoff meeting is Wednesday, and I want to finish my fiction book. These are my summer joys. Liz, I ate so much watermelon the other night, I think I poisoned my body. It was really bad. Like I ate half a watermelon. Not joyful afterwards. During, very joyful. Okay, look at all these things that you've identified would bring you joy in the most practical of ways. All right, we're going to take this one step further because this isn't like a bucket list of summer and then like you're going to tuck it away. All right, we're going to make a symbols. We're going to do some symbols. Okay, E is for easy. It's very easy. I can do it this week. Easy. F is for forgotten. Oh my God, I love this and I forgot about it until I actually sat here and thought about it. F is for forgotten. And P, this speaks to what Matt said at the top of the call. P is for protected. I need to put this and some space around it in my calendar so I can actually do this thing. Okay? So those are our codes. So you're going to go through each of these and you're going to say, okay, is this easy? Give it an E. Easy as you can do it this week. F is forgotten. Wow, I forgot about this. And P is protected. I'm going to put some time for this in my calendar. So question for you all. Why do the symbols matter? Why does just taking that 30 seconds? Why do those symbols matter? Why do they matter to you? What do they help you, your brain do? Focus. Okay. Anyone want to talk out loud? Ooh, organize, prioritize, bring awareness to it, actualize it. Valerie?
Yeah, hold on a sec. So for me, the symbols, I think I'm free. Yeah, the symbols, since freedom was one of mine, it, I need the structure. I need something that actually will actually I need that structure, and it's fascinating because as I put the symbol to it, I'm like, okay, now that's one more step. Now it's just to do it. So it's a just do it once I see it and make it so.
Yeah, I love that. How many of you do realize the most amount of freedom is ours and joy and if there is structure around it. Right? Here's what I mean by that. I woke up this morning and I was like, okay, I have to study Spanish today. Our school's out on break, but I don't want to be a week without Spanish. It'll be detrimental to my brain. And I was like, oh, that's so not joyful. I would rather color. I would rather go to the beach. I'd rather do a million other things. Okay. But the end game is it'll be easier for me next week. So I had to remember that. Okay. So sometimes we have to remember the longer range goal, right? Especially if it's something like that. But I did have to protect the time in my calendar today. And literally when I looked at my calendar, it said Spanish, because guess what? My brain would have found every reason not to do Spanish today. But there it is, staring at me right in the face. Very protected. All right. So I don't want any of you to feel like, oh, now I'm planning my joy. Actually, that is what needs to happen. You plan your dinners, you plan your exercise, you plan your family obligations, you plan your work, you plan your client sessions. Why not plan for your own damn joy? It is how you're going to have more joy in your life, right? And some joy is easy and it's available, right? Dana has her mug, brings her joy. I have these beautiful mugs with this starfish on it. Glasses brings me joy, right? Little joys are important. Okay. Some joy is forgotten and it wants to be remembered. It's like, hey, hello, Shannon, remember when you said 3 months ago that on the summer you wanted to go have a rooftop cocktail? Hello. You forgot me, but here I am, right? And some joy needs protection, because it will not happen unless you make space for it. Okay. So you have a fun little summer joy list here that helps you feel alive. What I'd like for you to do is circle the one that wants your attention before we meet next Monday. Which one wants your attention before we meet next Monday? Most attention. Maybe they all want your attention. All right. Your weekly joy practice this week is very easy. You're going to do something off your summer joy list, your summer joy menu. How fun is that? All teachers should give this much fun homework in life, right? And on your scavenger hunt, if you take a look there, back at that scavenger hunt, which is where we started today, number 3 is your joy list. You can put that one, or you can put a couple in here. You can prioritize them. You can write them all. Okay, don't overwhelm yourself. But remember, your scavenger hunt is personalized and it protects what's important to you and it reminds you. So you can write something here from your joy list or your joy menu. Okay? All right. I want to do a couple of reminders of what's going on in the community. We've got a lot of fun stuff happening because integration is my season right now. Okay. And then I want to open this up for questions, reflections, organic conversation. We did talk about a couple of things already. CEO Planning Days is happening in Valencia, October 19th through 21st. This is the time for you to come to Valencia and to have some space and some strategy and for some fresh perspective with some really freaking smart people, and really think about your recalibration for 2027, the era that you're here to lead and the work that you want to be doing. All right, we've got 3 spots left for that. Okay, Amy is hosting next week. She is hosting an Ask Amy Anything, and she is going to be focusing in this session and helping you understand that if you built a business through referrals, great. but we don't want to always rely on those because we know what happens when we do that. All right. Referrals dry up, they slow down, then we have a financial crunch. Not fun. All right. So she's going to lead a conversation around how your sales conversations from referral type people versus colder audiences actually has to change. It's something we've been working with our clients with, and they've been getting really great results. That session is free. You're welcome to come spend an hour with Amy and really think through your sales conversation process with, we'll call it warm traffic versus colder traffic. All right. Because it really does need to be different. Okay. And then Michelle, impromptu conversations happening on Monday. We pick one topic, one guest, one audience. That's it. We are coming unscripted. There's nothing else that we have planned. This has actually been very joyful as a content creation person to just be like, fuck it, whatever happens, it's going to happen and it'll be recorded and it'll be fine. Okay. And then back by popular demand. All right. If you did not attend this in June, many people said, please do it again. It's our recognition gap intensive. It's a 3-hour intensive. It's $47 in September. Okay. Clear your schedule. Come join us. And we help you learn what in your messaging is not creating the recognition, demand, and higher caliber opportunities in clients that you want to be calling in. It's literally a working intensive where we get down and dirty with some messaging so you can roll some new stuff out the next day and test it out. All right. Super amazing workshop. And we got great feedback the last time we ran it. Okay. So we're bringing it back. All right. Okay, cool. Who has reflections on this week or their joy or questions you want to ask, things that have been bubbling up for you? And if you have to bounce, I completely understand. Thank you for being here today. We will see you hopefully next week. Questions.
Questions or reflections? Go ahead and unmute yourself. We're not a large group today, so go for it.
I'll start with a reflection. I woke up today. I don't even know if I slept last night. So I got up. I got out of bed. I got vertical. And I was like, what the hell was last night about? I have no idea. I was hot. I had leg cramps. It was bad. It was a bad night. And I thought, okay, what would bring me joy today? I wish I could clear my whole calendar. That's really was the first thought, right? Because I was so tired. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go teach the joy class. So I really need to do that. And I also need to do what's going to bring me joy and a little more peace today. So I did clear my calendar as much as I could. And I did a very slow morning. Like I literally just took a shower at 3 o'clock to get ready for you all at 4 o'clock. Okay. And everything else, it can wait. That was what I needed today to be able to show up fully for you all and not like have the busiest day trying to pour into people and my brain just wasn't there. Okay. That's my reflection today. Catherine?
I really appreciate that you brought up about the irony of finding freedom through the structure, because I have vacillated in and out of that. It's easy to have that split energy and go in too many directions. But the structure makes a huge difference. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, there is freedom in the structure.
Mm-hmm.
There's freedom in the structure. Valerie and then Kasten.
I have to honor Catherine because we were in the breakout together and she said something that I have to be watched for myself. I tend to say, do as I say, not as I do. Okay. Oh. And so I'm realizing that I am a joyful person, but I get so busy planning, producing, being responsible that I actually don't leave time for myself to actually enjoy and experience it. So I'm telling everybody how to do all this, but I don't do it. Okay. And so
Yeah.
I think what I want to think about more is I don't need to plan on play more. I just need to do it and just have the joy find me. So again, thank you, Catherine. That was a good one for me.
It was fun.
Yeah, and I think so too that many of us are givers. We take care of people. We want other people to live their best lives. We want other people to experience that joy, and all of that's good. But also, like, put your own joy mask on first, right?
Explain.
Put it on. Put
I
that
like
joy
that.
mask on for yourself first. Yes, good. Christy, I'd love to hear from you today. You've been to a lot of stuff, but you're so quiet. I feel like you're such a quiet one.
Yes, I like to always observe before I say anything because I'm a perfectionist and this was my
Ah,
first joyful book club. So I'm like, oh, I'm behind. And I know you said that we're not behind, but I still feel that way because it's hard to prioritize.
yep, yep,
But I think for me, thank you for reminding us that summer is still going and we have more time because I actually on my menu I wrote fall and then you're like, no, summer's still going. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna write summer. And even when the school seasons and all the other stuff doesn't seem to align, like for me, getting outside, like I moved to Colorado because I want to be outside here. And I need to remember how important that is to just like, even if I can't go on a long walk or something, to just get outside in the morning and like drink my coffee out there or something and start with that little bit of joy, which will not only remind me of why I made the decision to be here, but just start my day off with a little something for me. I think that will be
yeah,
really important.
beautiful. Thanks for being here. You are not behind.
Thank
You're
you.
right on time. You are welcome. Caston.
Yes, you said joy belongs in every season. I think it's not just meant within a year, but also in your life. Because as a kid, you play a lot, you don't care about all the seriousness. And then the older you get, and especially in your midlife, you're very serious about your job, about your tasks in your families. And then later on, even looking after your parents, maybe a lot of us maybe still have to do. And then you reach a point where you can't do all the things you want to do, and you might be depressed about that. And I think it's still important, no matter where you are in your life, to have joy and to find those pockets of joy within the
Yeah,
year, but also within the stages of your life.
exactly. Within the seasons of what's going on and like the context of the life, right? So important. And it's often the hardest times, I think, those times of grief or those times of busyness, like, oh my God, the kids are going back to school this week. Now I got to get a new schedule and I got to figure out dinner. And like, we're back. Like it throws everyone for a loop. It's like when they go back and then when they come home.
Yeah.
It's just like these big transitions, right? You move, even though you want to move, you move somewhere. Lot to take into account, a lot happening. So I would say, like you, Caston, times of transition, times of grief, times of turmoil, times of sadness, that is when we have to be more on point and deliberate with our joy, because it doesn't come easy in those times, right? It's very easy, y'all, to be very joyful when everything's going right in your world. Your health is there, your business is working, you've got some spaciousness in your calendar, but can you find the joy when shit is hitting the fan? That is really the important piece, I think, of the whole book club, honestly. Okay, beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else? Gail, you're nodding your head a lot today. I'm calling on you with your cute little glasses.
Thank you. I really like that. Find the joy while the shit is hitting the fan. I think that's key. Yeah. Um, Lots and lots and lots of things to think about today. And one of the things I'm noticing is, yeah, there's a theme about going outside and getting in with nature. And we've had rain here in New Jersey. We've had a very rainy summer. So, and it's been humid, and like opportunities have to be grabbed when available, I think.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking one of my compass points on my joy menu is just get outside, sit on my little deck, quiet time with my lights because that gives me joy, and somehow yell and scream at the kids who are playing soccer until 10 p.m. to just go home.
Go inside. It is time.
Yes, it's like
Go
dusk
get
is
ready for
not 10
school.
p.m. That's right.
Yes. Well, maybe now that school's going back, but in New Jersey, it's not yet, right? We don't go
No,
back till September or something. So
probably after Labor Day.
you're still September in New Jersey. You may, if I may, I mean, it is annoying when you want quiet time and everyone like screaming and people are building and using the jackhammers and all the things. Maybe you substitute something else right now, and then when those kids are actually needing to go to bed for school, let September be your patio time.
I think that's a great idea.
Then you're not like pissed off about it.
Yes, that's right. Like, love you kids, but go home. Yes,
Yes,
exactly.
yes, yes. Okay, thank you. Anyone else before we close out today? Liz, you've been quiet today. What are you thinking about over there? I see your wheels turning.
I'm mostly thinking I'm jet lagged.
Oh, yes.
No, I was realizing, especially after talking to Kieran, that I need to look for the joyful, creative, kind of value connected circles in my life, the upward spirals, and enjoy them and be present in them. And then also look for those negative circles so that I can disrupt them before they take me places I don't want to go.
Yeah, yeah. Very good. And we're going to talk about that a little more next week, actually, is like what happens when we feel that peace, right? That spiraling peace. How can we have some tools to bring that back?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I will see you all next week for week 4. Enjoy your summer joy menu. Adios, everyone.